What's up guys, welcome back to Diddy Reviews once again. Today I'm going to be doing the third part of my Why Not Build This series, and I'm basically going to look at a £1,500 gaming PC budget. So what we'll do is we'll get straight onto PC Part Picker. I'll show you the parts and we'll discuss them as we go. Cheers guys. Right, so here we are at the PC Part Picker screen again, as you've seen before. So what we're going to do is get straight into what I think would be a good purchase of parts for a 1.5k gaming system. So we'll start off with a CPU. Now I think in terms of a CPU for this, you're going to be wanting to go mid to high range for this kind of budget. You can get a really good processor, especially with the AMD stuff at the moment, and I've already got one in mind for this. I'm already going to go with a 3700X from AMD, which at the moment can be had for a little as £260, so I'll add that one in. Now also with this, I believe that if you're spending this kind of money, you want to be getting a proper cooler in there, especially for something with this many cores and threads. So we're going to look for a really good priced all-in-one solution, just to make the PC look really nice as well, and allow for some overclocking headroom. So what I've got in mind for this one, like I say, with this one I've already picked one out. So we're going to go for the Arctic, and it's going to be the Liquid Freezer 2 240. I've previously used the Liquid Freezer 1, and that was an absolutely fantastic buy. And I've read a lot of reviews and videos for this one, and it performs fantastically well for the price. It's a 240mm AIO for £70 or less than £70. So we're going to go in for that one. And now, again, for this kind of budget, I'm kind of thinking we should be looking at an X570 to make the most of the CPU that we're picking, and also give us some future upgradability, and also the ability to use PCI Gen 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at X570 boards. If I go down here, tick X570, and then what we'll do is we'll search by price from those high. So we're not going to go in at budget with this one. We're going to go for something mid sort of range. So we're going to look around, probably around the £200 point. And straight away, one that I know very well at the moment and gets really good reviews is this Gigabyte X570 Aorus Elite. So we're going to pick that one. Obviously you've got quite a few within this range that you could choose from if there's one you prefer. If you prefer Asus, if you prefer MSI, there is boards within this price range that you could choose instead. But this one I know for sure this is a good buy. So we're going to go for the X570 Aorus Elite. And then also for memory, with it being a Ryzen, we probably want to go for 3200 at least, but we will try our best to get a 3600 if we can. So let's have a quick look at the 3600. And we want at least 16GB for this system, as it's going to be a gaming system. That's kind of the sweet spot for this. With this board, this sort of build, you can afford to probably splash out a little bit on some RGB, a bit of bling. But obviously, if you want to, you can choose lower end stuff, and you still get a really good performing PC just without all the lights. But I'm going to go in at something with a little bit of RGB, and straight away £103 is a 2x8GB 3600 set here from Corsair, the Vengeance RGB Pro. So we're going to go straight in at that one. Now in terms of storage, again, I'm going to try and see if I can find a PCI Gen 4 M.2 for the operating system. So we'll have a look. We definitely want SSD, and we want, I know there's a brand that's kind of up and coming that are doing some really good stuff. So we're going to go for this Sabrent or Sabrent or whatever you want to call it, and you can get some decent price stuff here. Because they do the Sabrent Rocket 4.0, and that's only £100. So that's a PCIe Gen 4. It's going to make use of the X570. So we're going to go in at that one. Obviously, again with this, if you want to save a bit of money, you want to upgrade something else down the line, then you can always drop this down to a standard PCIe 3.0 and probably save yourself £30 or £40. But that's entirely up to you. Now again with graphics cards, we normally go around 35–40% of your budget for this, so that'd be around £600. However, for £600, as I've previously looked, let's just change this so we can have a look at what's around £600. You're kind of still getting 2070 Supers, so you're getting 2070 Supers for nearly £600, whereas you can get a 2070 Super for a lot less, and if you want to go any higher, you're paying £700. So that's kind of a bit over the budget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial this back down down to there, and we're going to look at 2070 supers. So we'll just wait for that to load if it ever does. 2070 supers. So here we go. That's price high to low. Let's go price low to high, and as you can see here, you've got the minis and evos and stuff like that. But I'm going to go with one that's a bit more well known for being a better one, basically. So we're going to go straight in at this. For the price difference, you might as well go for the gaming OC from Gigabyte rather than the WindForce OC. I'm not sure. So basically higher boost clock. So you might as well go that for the extra £2. That's £519. So that's kind of within our budget. So we've got that there, and also with this, we're going to go a bit more on a case. As normally I'd say for the lower budgets, not to bother too much spending a lot of money on a case because you don't need to. It's just something to house your PC. But I believe with this kind of budget, you should be looking at something a bit more substantial. So we're going to look for something which has got a really good airflow. And again, I also already have one in mind for this. Let me just see if I can find it. Where is it? So P400. That's the one. So let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, we're going to go for the P400. It's got a mesh front panel on it. It's the P400A digital, so you also get RGB fans with that, so you don't need to spend any extra money on those, and that's £80. That's a really good buy for the price. So we'll go for that. We'll also do it in white as well. It's a little bit more expensive, but we'll go for the black one, as we've got the black memory and everything as well. Now, power supply units at the moment are a little bit overpriced, but we're going to look for something 650 watts or over, so we've got a little bit of headroom. We shouldn't need that much, but we'll see what we can get. And we kind of want to go for fully modular if we can with this, especially when you're spending this kind of money. I believe you should be getting the best you can for your money. Obviously we'll look at the end, see how much these total prices. But straight in here, Seasonic Focus. I know these are fantastic power supplies, fully modular, 650 watt, 80 plus gold. We're going to go with that. There's no point of looking any further, really. I mean, I know that's definitely a good buy. And that is that, to be honest. So we've got the 3700X, we've got an Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 240mm AIO, we've got the Gigabyte X570 Aorus Elite, 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro at 3600 speed, and we've got the Sebrant Rocket 4.0 500 gig. So we've got a PCIe Gen 4. We've got a 2070 Super from Gigabyte, again matching the board, so that's pretty good. It's worked out nicely. And then we've got the Fantex Eclipse P400A digital. So we've got a mesh front panel on that with RGB fans, so no extra money required to spend on those. And we've got a decent power supply in there. One thing we are going to need though is additional storage. Now again, this doesn't need to be anything stupid. It can just be something with a good size on it to store your games and things like that. So we're going to have a look, see what we can get. Let's see if we can get a 2 terabyte for a good price. And I use these in a lot of the builds, the Seagate Barracuda, just because the price of them is fantastic for what you're getting. And it's a 2 terabyte drive, 7,200 RPM. That's basically what you need for mass storage and for games and things like that. So we'll add that in as well. And that's basically the PC completed. So if we now look, we're just under our £1,484. We're under our £1,500 budget, so we're well within. We've got a little bit of extra cash there if you want to spend any extra on extra fans, things like that. You can do. Obviously, you can downgrade a few things if you really want to. I personally wouldn't change anything on this. The one thing I would say, if you are just going just for gaming, then maybe you could downgrade this 3700X and go for maybe a 3600. Save yourself a little bit of money. Maybe downgrade your M.2 drive if you wanted to, save a little bit of money there, and then you could probably push for a 2080 around there, or maybe a 2080 Super if you want to spend extra money. But this as a whole is a fantastic buy. So anyway, let's get back to it. Right, so there we have the £1,500 PC part picker list that we've decided to go with, and as you can see, it's a fantastic buy. There's lots of stuff on there that's going to make this a fantastic gaming machine, and also with that 3700X, it's also going to be good for multitasking, and if you're going to be streaming and things like that, if you're doing video editing, having 8 cores and 16 threads is going to be absolutely brilliant, and it's more than enough basically. Like I said, with the processor, you could downgrade that to a 3600 if you wanted to. That's still a 6-core 12-thread CPU, so that'd still be more than enough. If you wanted to downgrade that, you could. You could also downgrade the motherboard if you want to go for a B450. You could also downgrade the M.2 to a PCI Gen 3. If you were downgrading your motherboard, you might as well. And so basically you could save yourself probably another maybe £200, maybe around there if you wanted to, and then with that you could put that towards a 2080 Super, which you should be able to get within that price range. So there is options here, but this is basically one I've gone for a bit more of an all-rounder. It's a gaming PC, but it can also do everything else, and it's got all the latest PCI Gen 4s and everything like that. So I believe that's a really good buy, but like I say, feel free to have a play around with this. This is basically just a video to give you an idea of what things you can buy with your money and what I think would be a good match of each other. So like I say, have a play around. I hope this video will help you out if you're looking to buy a PC for this kind of budget. I have done 2 other videos with lower budgets. If you want to check those out, I'll put those up in the corner so you can have a look. But like I say, I hope this helps you out, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.